Welcome to Wellness Wisdom Wednesday. I'm Tiffany Brown Bush and I am helping you through hump day. And it's my pleasure to be able to help super women live fit with happy hormones. So because of that, I want to jump right into today's topic, which is cellulite. And it's a juicy one, so I want to go ahead and be able to spend some time on it. It's a little bit more involved than maybe we've discussed previously or even you assume. While I'm thinking about it, please like this video, comment on it, share it. I'm sure you know a woman who would benefit from exploring this topic. Okay, so cellulite. It is that fat that you get in fun different areas on your body that has a ripply, dimpled, or cottage cheese appearance. I don't know if you even really need me to describe this or explain what it is, but in case you did, there you go. And it is fat. It's not visceral fat, it's subcutaneous fat, and it is pressing through the skin. And you're told, I don't know, it's not a big deal, there's nothing you can do about it, diet and exercise, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I have a different perspective on things than maybe you would be, I guess, accustomed to, so I'm going to give it to you from my perspective. And there are a couple different layers. So, first of all, if you have cellulite and you are 30 pounds or more, okay, over your goal weight or ideal weight or a healthy weight, for your body, then you're going to want to focus on overall weight reduction and fat loss reduction, okay? So if you are coming to me and you want to have a consultation and you're saying you have cellulite and that's one of the big things you want to deal with, I'm going to look at, is there a big weight loss issue at play, okay? If there's a weight loss issue, I want you to focus there first. And so we're going to be doing things that are, cardiovascular. You're going to be doing strength training. My recommendation for exercise is 4 days per week, 3 days of it weights, 4 days of it cardiovascular HIIT training. So high intensity interval training that applies to cardio, that applies to the strength training. There is no reason for you to be doing endurance training. This is a touchy subject. But I seem to have this conversation every Wednesday for some reason, but you don't need to go out and just work out for long periods of time. I know a lot of people who do long distance endurance like sports and spend a lot of time on the treadmill and the elliptical machine. Know a lot of aerobics instructors, all of which with cellulite. So that's not the way you get rid of cellulite. You need to throw some weights around. You need to do some high intensity interval cardio. That's going to help. Okay, so if that's you, you've got the exercise piece, you need to clean out the diet. Now, this is going to apply to all levels, okay? So diet is huge. You cannot put crap in and expect to have something amazing on the other end. I don't begin to fathom how that makes any sense. So if you're eating crap, that's why you have cellulite. Okay, if you're eating garbage that comes out of a fast food window, if it's processed and it's in a box, that stuff shows up on your body. Guess what your body does with all the crap it can't get out of your body? It stores it in your fat. Okay, so literally, because it's trying to protect your organs and all the, as best it can, everything in there that needs to be in good working condition, it puts, those chemicals that were in that lean cuisine or that KFC or whatever it was, and all the toxins in the environment go in your fat. So the first line of defense is going to be for you to really take cleaning up your diet and saying no to sugar and processed carbohydrates and bread. That's going to be your major prescription. So that's going to knock out a significant portion of the people watching this. It's going to be like, okay, well, they're my marching orders. Now, if you go do all that stuff and then you cannot get rid of your cellulite, then something else is going on. You're on that next level. So I do get clients that are at 20 pounds out, 15 pounds out, 5 pounds, or heck, I have some women who are at their ideal body weight and have cellulite, and they're FRL divas to the end. They are eating clean, they're going to bed when they're supposed to, they're getting all the rest, they're drinking all the water, which is a minimum of 64 ounces of water, minimum, okay? then more. It's like build from 64 ounces, okay? So they're drinking all their water. They're doing the right kind of exercise. They know what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, those clients usually have some sort of connective tissue problem. So the collagen over time is broken down. I have this a lot with ex-smokers because that really damages. There's a lot of free radical damage as a result of smoking and nutrient deficiencies. But like a lot of loose skin, okay? So things aren't tight. The skin's not tight. So when there's fat there, it shows up through the skin. So the course of action is going to be, using collagen products. I actually use collagen protein powders. Bone broth soup is another way to get collagen in the diet. You're actually going to consume things that build connective tissue up. There's a lot of free radical damage that has happened to allow the skin to look that way. You're going to need to consume antioxidants, supplemented forms as well as through the diet. You need a lot of really good, clean, healthy fat, avocados, coconut oil, olive oil, not when it's cute or fashionable, but like every single day, okay? You need to consume that. So then that gives you your supplements. That gives you the collagen. We need to rebuild the connective tissue. Okay, so then the other piece of this is to make sure that you're stimulating the areas that have the cellulite. So dry brushing. Okay, so you get a big bristled brush. You can get a wood-handled bristled brush from health food stores, with drugstores, wherever. This is not something you use wet. You're going to gently do a circular brushing action up your body, starting with the soles of your feet, working towards your heart. When you do your arms, you work towards your heart. And when you do your back, it's always up towards your heart. And you're going to help increase circulation, and you're also going to help exfoliate the skin. And in the areas where the cellulite is most prominent, and I see it sometimes on arms and as well as legs and glutes and midsections, you're going to make sure you're really giving a good circular rotation there in those areas to get increased oxygen and blood circulation there, and to tone everything on the surface of the skin as well as below. So you're trying to tighten and tone. There are cellulite treatments. I've actually offered them at the Fit for Life studio before that focus on this, increasing circulation and trying to tone the skin. There are topical things that you can use to make sure that you're constantly increasing circulation. Half of those are because you're constantly just rubbing those areas too. There are materials that you can use, that you can wear. We actually sell clothing that's for cellulite reduction that increases circulation and heat in those areas. That's what you're doing. For some reason, that area has gotten a little stagnant. If you're exercising and you're still not getting what you need, you're still dealing with cellulite, you've got to get good nutrients and blood flow to that area. Now, this is a longer video, so I hope you're settled in here. I'm going to try to start wrapping up here soon, but there's still a next level. If you've done all of that, and two things are going on for you at this point. You still have cellulite, and then you don't have good muscle tone, and you feel like you have a hard time constantly putting on muscle. You lift weights, you eat clean, you eat tons of protein, and you just don't have that tight toned, I go to the gym look. Okay. What I have found since I've started, I shifted over from doing traditional nutrition and fitness work and more into an integrative functional medicine practice, is popping that hood and looking underneath and finding out what's going on for people makes a significant difference when it comes to how they're going to look. So if you're not putting on muscle, you're probably dealing with about 3 or 4 things. First of all, diet is about what you absorb, not what you consume. If your gut function, if your digestion is not working properly. Now, I hear you. I poop every day. I poop 3 times a day. Good. Gold medal, ribbon. That's normal. Okay? That doesn't mean that you don't have a yeast overgrowth. That doesn't mean that you don't have a parasite. That doesn't mean that your gut function is great. Doesn't mean you don't have leaky gut. Okay? And I have questionnaires that you can use, quizzes that you can use to figure this out. If you're not getting all that protein to the muscle, if you're not getting the effects of the workout, there's a very strong possibility that you're not actually absorbing what you're consuming because of poor gut function. So you want to make sure that your digestion is on track, okay? The other issue you want to look at is if you're supplementing with a multivitamin, you've got good antioxidants on board, because what can happen is, and amino acids, because what can happen is you can have deficiencies, neurotransmitter deficiencies, and I usually can pick these up with testing and other things that don't allow you to actually use the food that you're consuming. So if you're not getting those things in, all that great diet, it's not being absorbed. And all that exercising you're doing, your body's just getting torn down. It can't get the protein. It doesn't have what it needs to rebuild. And that's why the cellulite's there and the skin's still loose and the muscle tone's not showing up. So that's kind of how you know that that's probably you, because you're going to have a couple of things kind of going on at the same time. Okay, so those are the few things that could also be showing up for you. Making sure that the digestion's on point, making sure you have the neurotransmitters, the balance, so that means the amino acids, making sure that you have the antioxidants in place. The other big piece of this, and this is what I'm going to start to wrap up on, is detoxification, okay? So, and I talked about working out and cardio. Cardio does a couple of things. It increases circulation, okay? It also makes you sweat. Now, I want you sweating as much as possible. I want you sweating every day of the week if possible. That does not mean working out 4 days. Excuse me. That does mean working out 4 days a week. That does not mean working out 7 days a week. You should not have to exercise that often, okay? So you should be able to figure out a way to sweat, whether that's some sort of sauna, there are infrared saunas, brisk walking. Let me explain that I do not consider walking anything other than movement. You should be walking up to an hour. Get yourself some dogs. That always helps me. A day. That's not part of what I consider your exercise. That's not your workout. Movement is a natural part of human functioning. So get up and go walk and let that be how you break a sweat. That is a detox channel. You have got to make sure that your body is purging all of the toxins that it's absorbing. The other thing is liver detox. If your liver is not detoxing because you used to be a heavy drinker in your 20s, or you've been on God knows how many medications, or you still are, you live in an area where there's a lot of toxins in the environment, you're a product junkie, you put a lot of stuff on you put a lot of stuff on your hair, and you use all kinds of fun, smelly deodorants and perfumes, and all that stuff is a toxin. It's a toxic burden. You have to cleanse that stuff out. That's your job, the liver's job, okay? It's very possible that your liver is backed up. You're not sweating enough or detoxing enough. And the liver's a major channel. Then sweating is, and then feces, so your bowel movements and urine. Those are ways for detoxing. If those things aren't happening regularly, if you don't drink enough water, if you don't have bowel movements every day, multiple times a day, if you're not a sweaty girl and you don't sweat all the time, and if your liver is toxic because you've taken 50 million things forever, you're backed up. And so the fat and the muscle tone issue is a result of being toxic, having a high toxic burden. And I can also pick these things up with testing, and it's been really fascinating to kind of move that needle with clients, because that's something that you can work on. You can detox. I do recommend now, with the environment being so toxic and so much stuff in our food and our products, 3 times a year an aggressive detox. And there are also things that you can do on a daily basis for detox, okay? So now this video has gotten very long. So at this point, what I'll do is I'll follow up this video with some basic at-home things that you can do for detoxification in addition to what I've already mentioned. And I'll do that in a follow-up Wellness Wisdom Wednesday video, okay? So those are my heavy hitters with regards to like my 3 layers when it comes to tackling cellulite. Trying to figure out where you fall in, and then come back to this video as you make progress and changes and strides in your program, and look at this as, kind of taking it to that next level. I do hope this was helpful. I definitely wanted to speak to all the different levels out there. So I do hope it was helpful. And until next time, live fit.